I'm Sydney Kohara. Join me for CNetNews.com weekends at 4 p.m. Eastern right here on CNBC.
CNetNews.com is brought to you by PeopleSoft. PeopleSoft. Customers, employees, suppliers. People power the internet.
This week on CNetNews.com, why the AOL Time Warner mega merger could bring prices down for consumers.
E-toys may be doing everything right, but at least one analyst says it'll be gobbled up or gone next year.
Web users are flocking to video. So will every website need streaming media to survive in 2001?
Wall Street is on the road to becoming wireless, and traders had better get on board.
I think it becomes very clear you either get with the program and embrace the technology, or those that do will likely poach your customers.
Plus, .coms are sitting out this year's Super Bowl, so how are they getting customers' attention?
And several CEOs took center stage this week. We'll hear from Oracle's Larry Ellison, Microsoft's Steve Ballmer, and Yahoo's Jerry Yang.
On air and online, this is CNetNews.com.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Richard Hart.
And I'm Sydney Kohara. You're watching CNetNews.com, the leading source of technology news and information.
Federal trust busters finally gave their unanimous approval to the historic AOL Time Warner merger this week, but not before tacking on some tough conditions.
The Federal Trade Commission voted unanimously to approve the $110 billion deal, but the FTC drove a pretty hard bargain for its stamp of approval. At issue, regulators feared a union between AOL, the world's largest internet services provider, and Time Warner, the nation's #2 cable TV provider, would shut out competitors in the fast-growing market for high-speed internet service.
Our concern here was with access, that these two powerful companies would create barriers that would injure competitors of Time Warner, competitors of AOL.
To meet FTC approval, the companies must deliver the following. Time Warner will offer its cable systems to at least 2 competitor ISPs within 90 days after AOL starts its services. The companies cannot interfere with content offered through rival and interactive TV services. And AOL must offer DSL services even in areas without Time Warner cable. Chairman Potovsky said the FTC will be taking unusual steps to ensure AOL and Time Warner comply with its order.
First of all, the Commission has the authority to appoint a monitor trustee to supervise the implementation of this order. Also, there are special reporting requirements that the combined companies have agreed to. Each year, they will forward to us complaints that they received about the way in which they've treated content and whether or not they've denied access to interactive TV.
Antitrust experts say in gaining FTC approval, the two companies may have gotten more than they bargained for.
I think the regulators realize that in many respects what they're doing in this uncertain environment is conducting experiments. Whether or not this dosage is the correct dosage only can be known by monitoring the results of the experiment. But I would characterize the concessions provided here as being very substantial.
Joining us now to provide some perspective on the FTC decision is Jonathan Haller. He is Senior Vice President of the competitive analysis firm Current Analysis, and he specializes in telecom issues and e-business issues. Jonathan, you've been following this merger very closely. Are the FTC provisions tough enough to ensure open access to the cable pipes that are so important in the developing broadband industry?
Yeah, good question, Sydney. The answer is unequivocally yes. I'm sure we've all heard the summaries of the deal, but the FTC basically requires AOL Time Warner to open its infrastructure to ISP competitors. They've got enough provisions, in my opinion, that will ensure open access, including requirements for other ISPs on top of the Earthlink deal, which the FTC, by the way, pretty much created the terms and conditions of, as well as a watchdog established especially to watch the deals over the next 5 years. So yeah, I think the provisions are tough.
Mr. Haller, what do these new concessions mean for consumers? Is it too much to hope that we're now going to see lower ISP and cable prices?
Yeah, good question. impact on consumers, I think, will be relatively minor. It's certainly in the short term. Now, keep in mind that broadband cable represents only 1% of the total households in the country. So, just the very fact that it's a nascent market will keep the impact on consumers relatively weak.
But this merger is not a done deal yet. Now it goes to the Federal Communications Commission. So can we expect quick passage, or maybe there's another tough fight ahead?
Yeah, good question again. The FCC is, no one can divine their intentions, in my opinion. There are rumors that it can be done by the end of the year, but then, Steve Case and Gerald Levin thought that this deal would have been done, by the end of summer, and then by the end of fall, and then by, now we're, officially a week away from the beginning of winter, and the deal still, is just consummated with the FTC.
All right. Jonathan Haller with Current Analysis. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Some of the top names in tech say streaming media, that's getting video and audio when you want it instantly, is the wave of the future. And they believe every site will need to provide it in order to stay with the pack. Research shows that by 2005, broadband will reach 35 million households, and 92% of online consumers will use some form of personal rich media every month. The Streaming Media West conference in Silicon Valley this week featured both Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer and Yahoo CEO Jerry Yang. They envision a future where audio and video is everywhere on the internet.
The digital media phenomenon is absolutely one of the engines that will fuel increased interest and activity and excitement around the personal computer.
Well, over the next couple of years, we really believe that it's going to hit critical mass.
Clearly, these tech leaders are optimistic about streaming media's future, but they're determined not to repeat the mistakes of those who have gone before them. Thus, they have mapped out broadband strategies that differ from earlier efforts at the web as entertainment. Both Yahoo and Microsoft are focusing on event-driven and business-related streaming content. A report released by Nielsen Net Ratings this past week helped bolster industry confidence in that kind of strategy.
We've seen huge spikes all throughout the year, namely, especially around the end of the summer with Survivor and Big Brother, as well as the Olympics, and most recently with the election campaign. And we've seen a steady amount of growth since last November.
In fact, according to Nielsen Net Ratings, during the election month of November, streaming media usage increased 65% over the same month last year. In addition to the news event spikes, that same report showed that most people watch streaming media at work, where they're more likely to have a high-speed connection.
Obviously, in that high-speed environment, they're more likely to consume rich media, or in this case, audio and video content, because the experience is much better.
And streaming media providers seem intent on improving that experience even more. At this week's conference, industry leader Real Networks unveiled Real System IQ, its latest streaming media platform that it says reduces network congestion and allows content to be beamed into networks via satellite. Microsoft also unveiled its latest multimedia platform, Windows Media 8, which Ballmer boasts can deliver DVD-quality images. But conference attendees still expressed doubt that streaming media is really ready for prime time.
People aren't going to watch, still frames, jitter, and that kind of stuff.
Even as the world waits for better quality, both Yahoo and Microsoft are forging ahead with their streaming media strategies by focusing on the corporate sector. At the conference, Yahoo announced a business-to-business play called Yahoo Webcast Studio, a software platform that enables companies to produce their own internet broadcasts.
Hopefully bringing and empowering the ability to do webcast productions out into the marketplace rather than having to make it a manual process.
These are corporate webcasts. These are, private webcasts in many cases, but we learn how to interact with people. We learn what they like and what they don't like. Then we get to take that experience to the cable modem and DSL crowd when they get home.
Microsoft's Ballmer agrees that the workplace is where streaming media will truly begin to take hold.
There will be a day, I promise you, where every corporation will view it as routine to communicate with its employees via streaming media over the corporate internet.
But both Ballmer and Yang don't think the coming streaming media flood will stop once it has saturated every office and home. These two CEOs are willing to look even further into the future, when high-quality digital media will go beyond the PC and into the palm of your hand.
We've got to be able to stream people, movies, and music to telephones, to pocket PCs, to other handheld devices.
I think having the ability to have a tremendous amount of rich media stored on the network and being able to pull it down for different devices as we move beyond the PC is also an extremely compelling reason for consumers to take advantage of this medium.
If wireless technology for streaming media were already up to snuff, consumers could have watched Al Gore's concession and George W. Bush's acceptance on PDAs on Wednesday. And that Nielsen Net ratings report we cited earlier indicates they would have done just that in droves. Just to reinforce the point that hot news events drive people to this rich media, 35 million at-home users and a third of all surfers access streaming media during the election month of November.
Hey, when you need to know, to the web you go, right?
And soon everyone will go.
Well, and by the next election, all those people may have a high-tech way to vote. But we've also learned that this new internet-based voting system will come with a high price tag. The Meta Group estimates it'll cost as much as $250,000 to create and install this new system, which is capable of eliminating any possibility of voting for more than one candidate and allows for an instant, accurate count. The report also calls for a 15-hour voting period where people could vote at home, maybe in their offices or at a community polling place. And scientists at MIT and Caltech, two of the leading universities when it comes to tech innovation, say they will team up to see if they can make the new system a reality. Of course, the government will need to pony up the money.
There lies the rub. Just ahead on CNetNews.com, it was a record-breaking week for online shopping. We'll find out which sites are giving customers what they want.
And eToys is getting some rave reviews from shoppers, but this could be the e-tailer's last holiday.
One company has the answers you're looking for, beyond the box. And remember, our Client Pro desktop features the Intel Pentium 3 processor. MicronPC.com. Think beyond the box.
Oh, hold on to it. Meet my new friend Simon.
Digital camera. Could have bought it online for $369, $349, or $329.
$329? Where?
Log on to My Simon and compare the best prices from around the web.
Hey, cashmere sweater, $188? I know a place that sells it for $98.
You're kidding.
MySimon.com. People have a right to know.
Hey, flea collar, $4.99.
One company has the answers you're looking for, beyond the box. And remember, our Client Pro desktop features the Intel Pentium 3 processor. MicronPC.com. Think beyond the box.
You almost done, Dad?
No. I'm planning for your college education here.
Again?
Gotta keep track of this. Stocks, bonds, funds.
Is this a stock?
Yeah. Here's the price. Earnings over the last 10 years. PE ratio.
23.
Right.
Is that good?
Want a little guidance? Introducing the personal financial consultant from Quick & Riley, a Fleet Boston financial company.
Weeknights at 7:30 on Court TV. Enter the world of high-tech detectives, men and women who investigate today's most puzzling crimes. Every night, a new mystery. And you'll see how forensic experts use the latest technology to uncover the truth. Crime fighters for the new millennium. Forensic Files, a new series every weeknight at 7:30. Exclusively on Court TV. Judgment Days, Sleepless Nights.
Watch out, Santa. Online sales are going through the rooftop. They topped $200 million a day this week. And customer satisfaction is very high. Anderson Consulting says 92% of purchases are successful this season, way up from 75% last year. And no surprise, toys are some of the top sellers. Internet pure play eToys is leading the pack right now. But look for other online toy sellers to steal its thunder soon.
It's the time of year when parents can become heroes. And cafe owner Lisa Woodfin began counting on eToys to make her one last year when she first started shopping online.
eToys definitely gets an A because they were like right there.
The toys came right away. I ordered, they came right away.
And customers aren't alone in applauding eToys' service. A new study by Consumer Reports on the best e-tailers gives eToys its top rating.
We really like their policies, we like their organization and usability of their site, and the breadth and depth of products.
While the company may be popular among consumers, the top research analyst warns eToys' glory days may be short-lived.
Like a lot of .coms, they're burning through a lot of cash. The big challenge for eToys is, will they last long enough to hit break even before they run out of money? There haven't been too many .coms that pull that off, and it's unlikely that eToys will.
According to Forrester Research, the company needs to at least double last year's revenues of $107 million just to keep its head above water. And that's not likely to happen because bricks and mortars are much better positioned this holiday season.
eToys has a lot of customers and has a lot of sales. The problem is that they're facing even bigger competition. They are up against Walmart, they're up against Toys R Us and Amazon, mass marketers like Kmart and Target that are taking the internet very seriously now. So for eToys to really win, they need to have that offline presence. It's going to be all the traditional retailers that we already know and love and that we already buy toys from who capture our online toy dollars next holiday season.
And with that in mind, it's no surprise it was a multi-channel powerhouse that delivered for Lisa Woodfin this holiday season.
I went to eToys, but they didn't have anything I wanted. I had specific items. My kids are older. There's certain things they want. I went to Toys R Us and bought most everything through them.
While Williams believes eToys may not see the 2001 holiday season, there are still options in the future.
We'd love to see them get picked off by somebody like a Walmart or a Kmart, a general merchant that still struggles online to help them really boost their online selling capabilities.
So consolidation is likely to be the story for many more e-tailers in 2001. We did try to reach eToys for comment on this story, but the company never responded.
You know, and eToy stock certainly hasn't fared very well this year, has it?
No, the chart looks pretty depressing. Over the last year, they've gone from a high of $61 to just barely $1 a share right now.
And interestingly enough, just last week, Robertson Stevens analyst, senior analyst that is, Lauren Cooks-Levitan, also called eToys the top site for customer service. Well, Lauren is back with us this week as we keep a pretty close eye on online sales this holiday season. Lauren, welcome back.
Hi, Sydney. How are you?
Fine, just fine. Listen, you're tracking customer service every day. Which sites are getting your attention right now?
Well, I know you just mentioned eToys. They actually slipped a teeny bit. They remain the #1 rated site across many dimensions, but I believe they fell to #2 or #3 in overall satisfaction. Some of the traditional retailers are coming on pretty strong with QVC and Land's End moving up the ranks. And we continue to see some of the other well-known names like Amazon and Buy.com also faring pretty well in terms of customer feedback levels.
But are you concerned now that some of them have slipped a bit right now?
Well, I will say that we've seen a slight deterioration across many metrics, but the levels are still quite high, 8.5 to 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, and higher than last year. What we are concerned about is the amount of promotional activity we're seeing. About 50% of consumers have reported to us that they have abandoned a shopping cart at some point during this season because of shipping costs. And at the same time, about 70% of consumers have taken advantage of a shipping promotion. So we have a very price-sensitive and shipping cost-sensitive consumer.
So when all is said and done, which sectors and sites are seeing the biggest sales right now?
Well, it's a little hard to judge, but we do believe you're seeing some of the broadlines retailers like a Walmart, like an Amazon, getting a lot of traffic. Some of the apparel guys are also coming on strong, like a Land's End. And you're also seeing the toy guys really benefiting from the seasonal push, be it eToys or Toys R Us.
Quickly, Lauren, do you think that retailers are on track to meet sales projections for the season?
So far, it looks like most sales projections and the most closely watched sales projection is for Amazon. It does look like they're on track, but we're really cautioning investors to look below the line, that looking at that top line number and not trying to get a broader perspective for what they're doing on in terms of gross margins and in terms of operating margins could get us into a little bit of trouble. So we remain pretty cautious on the name.
Lauren, thanks a lot. We'll see you in January for a final analysis of this shopping season. That's Lauren Cooks-Levitan, senior analyst for Robertson Stevens.
Still ahead on CNetNews.com. Silicon Valley meets Palm's newest model.
Impersonal digital assistants are promising to clean up Wall Street. I'm Melissa Francis, and I'll show you how wireless technology will soon be a trader's best friend.
Of a white Christmas.
Some things never change.
Just like the one.
Like
like the songs that make the holidays so special.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays.
The Time Life Treasury of Christmas, a tradition in millions of homes across America.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Only Treasury of Christmas brings you all these timeless classics.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
The Time Life Treasury of Christmas, America's best-loved Christmas collection on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas
You'll get 50 holiday favorites.
Jingle bell, jingle
More than 2 full hours of holiday fun.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, riding down Santa Claus Lane. Silent night.
Each song brings the wonder of Christmas into your home.
Hark the herald angels sing.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart...
So call now and enjoy the Treasury of Christmas for years to come.
To order Treasury of Christmas, call 1-800-739-3311. That's 1-800-739-3311, or send $19.99 for 2 cassettes plus $3.99 shipping and handling, or $26.99 for 2 CDs plus $4.99 shipping and handling to Treasury of Christmas, Department 5, Richmond, Virginia, 23280.
Microsoft stumbles and Oracle shines.
So you can imagine what kind of a week Bill Gates and Larry Ellison had.
For the first time in a decade, Microsoft issued a profit warning. The company's blaming slow PC sales. But analysts say that consumers just haven't embraced Microsoft's latest upgrades, Windows 2000 and Office 2000. Well, the news sent Microsoft shares down some 11% and dragged down the NASDAQ overall.
The story was just the opposite for Oracle. Its stock was up on Friday after the company beat Wall Street expectations for this quarter by a penny. But the real news is that net income rose 62% to $622.8 million. And Oracle also announced a plan it hopes will generate much more money. In response to the so-called .NET initiative of Microsoft, Larry Ellison unveiled Oracle's own internet services. Part of the new plan enables businesses to use an Oracle computer for a corporate homepage. CEO Ellison dismissed as vaporware Microsoft's competing products, which aren't expected to roll out for several years. So confident is this man in his own vision that he's comparing himself to Galileo.
We're faced with the same problem that Galileo had. We were the first to say this was a good idea, and everyone else is saying no, Oracle's wrong. You know, I2 says Oracle's wrong, and Siebel says Oracle's wrong, and IBM says Oracle's wrong, and so on. And it takes a while for us to prove that we're right.
Any new idea, whether it's ours or Galileo's, takes a while to be accepted, he said. The company calls its dynamic services framework portal.oracle.com, but it might as well have called it oracle.net.
Well, the latest move into the handheld wireless arena is coming from an unusual place, the New York Stock Exchange. The NYSE is working with Casio to develop a personal digital assistant, a PDA, that allows traders to communicate with their customers and execute trades in an instant, wiping out the need for any paper.
We sent our Melissa Francis to the exchange floor to get a little closer look at this change.
Thanks, Richard. The goal is to eliminate the margin of error. It's all part of the NYSE's effort to get with the times, a campaign they kicked off with the new advertising blitz just this week.
Right now, right here, right now.
This is the new face of the New York Stock Exchange. Hip, high energy, and most of all, high tech. And at the center of the exchange's facelift, the wireless trader, or specialist as they're called on the trading floor. The goal of going wireless is to do away with one of the most enduring images of Wall Street, the reams of paper that litter the landscape of the trading floor each day.
So what's this? I see paper. You're cheating.
This is the newest machine that just came out.
Gordon Charlop is one of 200 specialists trying to kick the paper habit with this wireless handheld device that allows traders to buy and sell stock on the go.
I think it's easy to use. Now here, I have an order now to buy 10,000 shares of General Motors. I'll accept the order, and we'll go onto my open order screen, and if you'll follow me to the Motors crowd, General Motors trades over at post 10. I'm working 10 on the buy side, so we just took them here at the trade. Yeah.
14 low on 40,000 best those work.
Okay, Lenny, if it's trading there, I'll take the 10. Let's put them right on the tape.
From his hand to the ticker in the blink of an eye, Charlap can email his investors about their trades and move money between their accounts without having to head to the sidelines and lose valuable time as prices change. The device is made by Casio and called the eBroker, and it's already in its second generation with an updated version on the way.
I think it's a good takedown here in Motors. We should be okay.
It's all about bringing investors closer to the action, according to Robert Britz, who's in charge of technology at the NYSE.
We have never met a customer of the New York Stock Exchange that didn't demand to be closer to the point of sale.
And Britz says the handheld unit greatly reduces the margin of error.
It's absolutely a godsend. In this business, errors are money.
Although the wireless device still allows specialists to write on the screen, trades are handled in typed digits, so there are no papers to misread or worse.
Specialists say at least once a month there's a collision on the floor where papers fly everywhere. But the question remains, are traders really eager to go paperless?
Well, more than anything else, we view technology as a tool, just like a surgeon does or an architect. You know, down on the New York Stock Exchange, taking away 30 seconds of your time or a minute of your time could be a lot of trades.
Anthony Corso proudly wears the same badge his father wore on the trading floor during the last century.
It was pretty prehistoric compared to today's day and age. I mean, every execution was manually written down.
But Corso says his dad would agree. Wireless is the future of information technology. And Corso, like the New York Stock Exchange itself, is ready for the future.
It is a whole new world, that's for sure.
I think it becomes very clear you either get with the program and embrace the technology, or those that do will likely poach your customers.
Right here, right now, right here, right now.
There are still about 600 traders who need to make the switch to wireless. Tech developers expect the NYSE to be completely paperless within the next year. And Richard, in case you were wondering, that was Fatboy Slim singing that song.
I recognize that, but then that begs the question, why, what kind of an audience would respond to him, and why do they feel the need to advertise?
Well, I think the NYSE is trying to say, we are hip, we're up to date, we're the new economy. You don't have to go to the NASDAQ if you want to trade in technology. We've got compact, we've got wireless, we're hip.
And so it's an image campaign,
Exactly.
basically. Okay, thanks again, Melissa Francis. Still to come on CNETnews.com, our IPO experts assess the performance of some of the year's new public companies.
And online columnist David Corsi consults his crystal ball for next year's tech news. Stay with us.
Can your business afford downtime due to bad power? Can your enterprise avoid power disruptions? Who ensures availability for more networks worldwide? APC. Power management solutions wherever data is created, transmitted, or stored. For a free downtime analysis, go to iwantapc.com.
Changing the world at the speed of light, touching everything we do. The global optical network is carrying the stuff of the world, and Corning is at its core. Corning, discovering beyond imagination.
Holiday gift should be nothing less than timeless. From the world of Ralph Lauren, you're just a click away. Introducing Polo.com.
Here's your CNBC personal finance tip. Drowning in credit card debt? There's a better way to manage. For lower monthly payments, consolidate higher interest rate balances. Just pick up the phone and call around to find cards offering lower rates. Then transfer those high interest rate balances to the low interest rate card. After that, cut up those credit cards you don't need and return them to the issuer. Watch CNBC all business day.
CNBC is brought to you in part by Verizon Wireless.
Folks, come see me today. I'll save you money. Right now, drive home this brand new 2000 Malibu, only $149 per month. Here's a super buy on a brand new 2000 S10 extended cab pickup, loaded with extras, only $159 per month. Drive home this new full-size extended cab 4x4 pickup for the unbelievable payment of $169 per month. Don't delay. Come out today. You know the place. That's Bruce Chevrolet in Hillsboro, a name you can trust.
Welcome back, everyone, to CNetNews.com, the leading source of technology news and information. Well, the IPO market began winding down a couple of weeks ago, thanks in part to an inhospitable stock market. Many of the companies hoping to make their debut this year just pushed away from the table and are opting instead to take their chances next year. But hundreds of others did go public, and today we're going to ask our guest venture capitalists to take a look back at some of them and review their previous comments and then determine if maybe the price is right now and a pretty good investment for you. Joining me is Phil Sanderson, who is general partner at Walden VC, and David Welch from Partech International. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. All right, let's take a quick look at three companies that Dave discussed back on November 4th. We've got Computer Access Technology Corporation, Luminant, and Transmeta. Computer Access Technology Corporation, it provides systems that enable computer devices to talk to each other, first traded November 9th. And let's quickly take a look at what Dave said way back when.
I think I would probably hold and wait on this one and maybe buy in after the company's gone out and just sort of see how it does over another quarter or two.
All right, hold and wait, and it's down in double digits now at 10–13% or so.
Right. No, I still feel the same way, Sydney. I mean, I still think it's an interesting space, interesting company, but I'd like to see a little more results from the company before I decide whether it's something to buy into. I'd like to see if there's really the growth in that company that I'd be hoping for.
Yeah, but the price, $11, $12. What do you think, Phil?
I think it could be a good value. The market is going to be focusing on companies who have profitability history and have good growth potential in hot sectors. This is one of those companies, but we have the January effect going on right now. People are selling, take their losses. There's a lot of pressure on companies of this size. I'd probably wait to buy it in January.
All right. Let's go to the next one. It is called Luminant. It's LMNE, and that is a fiber optics components for optical networking. That's what they make. First day opening price was $12.06, and let's see what Dave had to say.
I would buy this stock, but I don't know, whether or not I wouldn't do it with just a little bit of trepidation, wondering how things are going to pan out in the optical world generally.
Hey, this one's down, around 40% or so right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a buyer now. I think it's an interesting stock, and I think fiber is coming back, so I'd be in.
I'd buy it in January.
Still buy in January, huh? Okay. Good price, too. It's around $7, $8 or so. Let's move on to the next one for Dave. This one's Transmeta, and its chips weigh less and are more powerful than its competitors. It is TMTA, and here's what Dave had to say.
So I think it's a solid company that should still do very well. It may have a little bit of the luster taken off of it for the delay in the IBM situation, but still I think will be a solid offering.
Okay. Now this is one of the big movers of the year. I mean, it was a hot prospect here, but it's down about 25%. Dave, do you like it?
I still like Transmeta. I think Transmeta is going to be a great company going forward and be a big player in the mobile computing environment.
Yeah, I think it's a great company. I don't want to say too much. Walden had seed funded the company 5 years ago, so we've got a big position in it. But I will say, if my wife is watching, I do want the new Sony laptop with Jesus the Crusoe chip for the holidays. So get it at the Metreon.
All right, Phil, now it's your turn. Let's take a look at your particular stocks. We've got NetPliance, Handspring, and Novatel Wireless. Now, NetPliance makes eye-opener internet application that helps people surf the web and use email, and here is what Phil had to say way back when.
Given that they don't have a sales history yet, I think they're a little bit early, and I would hold off from buying.
And it's down, 98% or so?
Yeah, they've completely scrapped their core business. What they should do is distribute their $76 million in cash back to their shareholders. But here's a good example where just because a company is down doesn't mean it's a good buy. This company is, for all intents and purposes, something completely different that may not be around.
Even at 50, 60 cents?
No, I mean, just stay away. I mean, I think that the writing here is that you can't just go out at any time and be a public company. You got to be ready to do it, as Phil pointed out when he first looked at the company. All
right, well, let's go on to one that also had some big news around it. It is called Handspring. It makes PDA handheld computers the biggest challenger to Palm here, HAND, and here's what Phil had to say.
I'm not convinced that Handspring has what it takes to win in this market. And to your question, I don't think that we're going to see a big pop in any of these IPOs like we had before the April 14th downturn, so I would hold off.
hold off and it's up about 75%. Want to change your mind?
Yeah, I missed this one definitely. It's been a hot sector. I don't think this company should be valued at $6 billion plus. On Monday, we're seeing a huge lockup where 80% plus of the stock is available for sale. So we're going to see a lot of selling pressure. If you can borrow it, I'd consider shorting it.
Well, I take a different take than Phil. I actually still think Handspring's an interesting company. You may have some downward pressure because of the lockup release, but I think long term, I think Handspring's going to be a big player in the mobile computing environment.
Okay, opposite opinions there. Let's go to the last one now. It's Novatel Wireless, NVTL, provides wireless data modems and software for use in Palm and other handhelds. And here's what Phil had to say back in November. So would you buy it?
Yeah, I would. There's some competition from some of the traditional wireless manufacturers like 3Com and others, but I think it's a pretty hot company, and I definitely buy it.
Well, you got this one right. It's up about 40% or so.
It's a great company. All these PDAs are going to need to be commerce enabled. I was talking to Sam May, who covers the stock at Piper Jaffray, and he was saying that they are one of the leaders in this area. He believes the technology is going to be packet radio networking, and this is a good company.
Dave?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, just as I said, I think mobile computing is huge going forward. This is a nice enabling technology for it at this price. I think it's a good buy.
Around $11. Not bad at all. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. We've got Phil Sanderson from Walden VC and Dave Welch from Partech International. Happy holidays, guys.
To you too, Sydney. Thanks.
And next on CNETnews.com, CNET Radio's Brian Cooley broaches a scary subject for online holiday shoppers, credit card theft.
And will .coms be punting for success in 2001? I'm Hari Srinivasan, and I'll show you how the commercial slowdown is already hitting the Super Bowl.
One company has the answers you're looking for. Beyond the box. And remember, our Client Pro desktop features the Intel Pentium 3 processor. MicronPC.com. Think beyond the box.
Hold on to it. Meet my new friend Simon.
Digital camera. Could have bought it online for $369, $349, or $329.
$329? Where?
Log on to My Simon and compare the best prices from around the web. Hey, cashmere sweater, $188? I know a place that sells it for $98.
You're kidding.
MySimon.com. People have a right to know. Hey, flea collar, $4.99.
It's gearing up to be the biggest high-tech holiday season yet. And whether it's computers, digital cameras, handhelds, or gaming systems you're looking for, using the Cnet Holiday Gift Guide can help you find the perfect gift. Price comparisons, user reviews, and editor's choice recommendations will all point you in the right direction. Avoid the long lines this year and visit holiday.cnet.com.
One company has the answers you're looking for. Beyond the box. And remember, our Client Pro desktop features the Intel Pentium 3 processor. MicronPC.com. Think beyond the box.
This time last year, tech companies had cornered the market on low-tech advertising channels. Nearly every .com was pouring millions into billboard, radio, magazine, and TV ads.
But several of last year's big ad spenders, they're no longer around. And the remaining internet players are being forced to tighten purse strings and pull back on offline branding. Senior correspondent Hari Srinivasan has details.
Thanks, Sydney. The name of the branding game this year is low cost and high accountability, as a majority of the Net's retailers take a pretty conservative approach to holiday advertising.
I want a diamond ring brace.
Buy.com will deliver. Gone are the days of those kooky and costly .com advertisements.
Ooh, girl, I just want you to stay.
The number of internet retailers willing to spend big bucks to build brands offline has dropped considerably this year. Only 12% in all have signed up.
Companies were spending $1.20 to acquire customers that would
would provide maybe 50 cents in revenue in some cases, and you cannot do that on a continual basis.
Instead of high-priced offline campaigns, most e-tailers are using low-cost online marketing tools like direct email to bring in those customers.
There's no doubt that certain e-tailers will be hurt. The smart ones, though, are looking to use more cost-efficient mechanisms to acquire customers.
For this 34th Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl of the new millennium.
The dot commercial slowdown will surely be felt in next year's Super Bowl. This year, 17 internet companies spent an average of $2.2 million for a 30-second spot. Next year, far fewer companies are willing to punt. Cnet has confirmed only 3, and CBS tells us it expects roughly 3 more.
I'm on a pilgrimage of wealth and greed.
Where you from? Freaking Mars.
One of the players for 2001 is Super Bowl veteran Hot Jobs. The online job site made a splash in '99 by spending half of its annual revenue on one ad.
We got over $20 million worth of free advertising through the press right after the first Super Bowl. Second Super Bowl is a little more complex. The best thing about the Super Bowl this year will be that we will be there when so many .coms are not.
Indeed, 2 .com players are out of the game for good, while several other companies that had hoped to score with high-profile campaigns have lost ground with investors.
Really? Check it out.
I think these companies really need to decide what their goals are and have some type of measurement plan in place to monitor traffic or conversions to sale after the Super Bowl advertisement. And it's really got to make sense from a business standpoint.
We saw about a 900% spike in our volume seconds after our TV spot on the Super Bowl ran.
I need a car? Used car site Autotrader.com spent roughly $3.5 million on 2 ads.
Introducing Autotrader.com. Over $1 million.
But last month, the unprofitable company postponed its IPO and says it's going to pass in 2001. Clark Wood is VP of Marketing at Autotrader.
It is probably the most expensive 30 seconds in TV advertising. And we needed some big momentum and a big event to really kind of kick our brand loose from a variety of .coms in the automotive category and really begin to catapult it. And it worked extremely well for us in that. And I think we've gotten the value out of the Super Bowl.
Wood says Autotrader is now driving toward profitability with a reduced marketing budget that includes year-round campaigns online and off.
Car is waiting.
A lot of the .coms particularly use the Super Bowl as a make or break. It was, I'm here today and gone tomorrow, and I'm going to spend 90% of my marketing budget in a 30-second commercial on the Super Bowl, and while I will have huge reach, my frequency will basically be 1. And that, I don't think, is a real viable strategy.
Woo the ladies, work a little Shazam magic. Comprende? No way, nice.
But for many, even a fumbled offline branding campaign is better than none at all.
I say that you can waste money doing almost anything, but if you look at the brands that have been created in the United States, they've all done it through offline advertising.
Revolution.
What do you think?
Should you be?
Hot Jobs is spending about 5% of its annual marketing budget on this year's Super Bowl. The online job site's going head-to-head with competitor Monster.com, which for the 3rd consecutive year has also announced plans for a big Super Bowl presence.
Thanks, Hari. Hearing the words credit card and extortion in the same sentence is enough to scare any online shopper. So when the news broke this week that 55,000 credit card numbers were exposed on the internet, a lot of people were justifiably alarmed. And that's when the phones light up at cnetradio.com, where you hear tech news 24/7. Brian Cooley heads up our CNET radio station, and he makes it his job to pay attention to his listeners. We check in with him every week to see what the hot button issues are. So, Brian, no doubt this credit card extortion tops the list for the week.
You know, Richard, we just finished, about 2 years of telling everybody online, on the internet, and over the air, don't worry about credit card fraud. It's highly overblown. Then this comes along, and 55,000 apparently valid credit card numbers were hacked out of a company called creditcards.com and then began to circulate around the net as part of what apparently was an extortion attempt. Kind of made us look bad here in the net industry.
So this was like a protection racket where somebody goes through the neighborhood and says either you pay the mob every month or we'll break your windows. Now it's you pay us or we expose your credit card
We
number.
expose your cards. And it's interesting, if you search through and did a Control F, a find through this list, it went around in email even, you might find your own name in there. It was very surprising how many numbers there were. We put our listeners in touch with the people over at Visa, which is the most used credit card for internet purchases. And they said, look, it still stands that it's, you know, it's a no-risk situation, but there's a hassle involved if your card gets hacked. And that really bothers people. A lot of our listeners say, I don't worry about the loss, I worry about the hassle I have to go through.
Yeah, in many cases, it's a couple of days before you can use your new credit card number here. And I presume for consumers, everyone wasn't automatically informed. You almost had to go to the web to find out if you were hit.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to call you and say, by the way, we think your number got hacked. That doesn't happen. So you have to find out the hard way, really.
Now, most people who use credit cards on the internet are there online today buying Christmas gifts. Any indication
Yes.
of what's a no-brainer or what's a hot item this year?
Nothing is on fire from what we've heard from our listeners when they call in and say, can you do a thing or an interview about this or this? It's MP3 players more than anything. I mean, they are on fire this year. I can't believe how many people are saying, can you guys do a review of MP3 players and, you know, get someone on the air and talk about it? It's a hot one this year, and they're down as low as under $100, and they're out in in-car versions, which a lot of our listeners are interested in because they're in the car.
Boy, that new price point ought to make them really burn up the charts this year for Christmas. Wow, I didn't realize they'd gotten down that low already.
Yeah, I may get my first one.
You still haven't got one.
Yeah, can you believe it? I'm a Luddite.
Now, a lot of calls, I'm sure, which you can't answer. Listeners of just about every radio station, when technology comes up, want to call and have you help them repair their computers.
Oh, yeah.
But how long is it going to be before you don't have to worry about those calls and computers just never do anything wrong?
The crash-free computer you're looking for. Well, it's coming. Microsoft, IBM, Sun, and a number of other of the biggies have gotten important backing and leadership from NASA. And they're using a program now called the High Dependability Computing Consortium. It's starting off with mainframes to make them never crash. You can bet it's going to get down to PCs in a few years. You know what they found is the #1 reason computers crash, Richard?
What? What is that?
Because of incompatible software. It's not the hardware. It's because everyone's writing software in their own place, and there are not many good standards. Windows is the glue that holds all software together, and, well, Windows.
Boy, why can't we just have one company make all of our software?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Anyway, well, thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Richard.
Happy shopping. You can listen to Brian on the web at cnetradio.com or at 9:10 a.m. here in the Silicon Valley region.
And don't go away, still to come on news.com. Columnist David Corsi makes 5 high-tech predictions for 2001.
Plus, the first computer named for a supermodel.
Can your business afford downtime due to bad power? Can your enterprise avoid power disruptions? Who ensures availability for more networks worldwide? APC. Power management solutions wherever data is created, transmitted, or stored. For a free downtime analysis, go to iwantapc.com.
Yanni, the artist, embraced by millions as one of the most innovative musicians of his generation. The new album, If I Could Tell You, is Yanni's first recording in more than 3 years. Yanni returns with a masterpiece of unique rhythms, voices, and powerful romantic energy. Call now to get Yanni's brand new release, If I Could Tell You. Over 1 hour of all new compositions. Order now and receive this groundbreaking video tribute. More than 2 hours of Yanni in concert at the Taj Mahal and the Forbidden City. This fascinating new music is Yanni at his very best. Yanni's brand new album, If I Could Tell You. Experience the music. Feel the power. Call now. Call now to order Yanni's If I Could Tell You on CD for $18.98 or cassette for $15.98 and get the tribute video. Or send check or money order to the address shown. Call now.
Is your car ready for winter? Well, here's some great news. Right now at the award-winning service department at Hillsborough Chrysler Plymouth and Jeep, you can get our most popular winterization special at our lowest price ever. We'll check the antifreeze, hoses, belts, wiper blades, and the radiator caps. Even top off all fluid levels, all for just $4.99. $4.99, but it's for a limited time only, so call for an appointment today at Hillsborough Chrysler Plymouth and Jeep. Nice people, great prices.
Want to go faster on the internet? Then go cable with AT&T at Home, the high-speed internet service that uses the AT&T cable you already have. It's always connected, so no more dialing up. And see for yourself how much faster AT&T at Home is than typical 56K service using a phone line. With AT&T at Home, you can download multimedia files in seconds, not minutes or hours. Call now for free installation and 2 free months of service. AT&T at Home. Go cable, go faster.
The makers of Palm Computers unveiled a couple of innovations this week, a new operating system and a supermodel. Claudia Schiffer took the stage at a conference in Silicon Valley to announce that you can now buy her special edition Palm 5X on her website. The product was her idea and she approached Palm with it. It's not the other way around. She's quite a businesswoman.
I'm planning to sell on my website, on the claudiaschiffer.com website. I'm planning on selling a lot of different products, exciting products, but at the moment I'm brainstorming on all kinds of different things that are technology related that I can, in one way or the other, to make it, to basically connect the technology with fashion.
That might be tough. Even though women comprise more than half of internet users, they make up only 25% of Palm users. Now, Schiffer admits that she doesn't know a single fashion model who uses one, although she usually does. It actually has a calorie counter in there.
I believe that. She sounds like a very smart businesswoman. The occasion, of course, was Palm Source, a gathering of engineers who showed off their Palm creations. For example, ImageWorks used innovative math programs to argue that students should be issued Palms instead of laptops. This Robo-Palm was developed into a $250 commercial product after it was invented by Greg Reshko, a student at Carnegie Mellon University.
We have the opportunity to build a whole new community. We're at the start of building something new, something that has not existed before. Computing is going to get to the hands of people that have never had access to it.
Palm officials unveiled a new operating system, version 4.0, which features USB, Bluetooth wireless, and a screen showing thousands of colors. Intel announced a major technological breakthrough this week. The chip giant will manufacture the smallest computer chips yet, with transistors the diameter of 3 atoms. That's small enough to enable those to be lassoed by a strand of DNA, as in this electron microscope image. Chips made of these transistors should be able to translate languages in real time, but they won't appear in products until 2005.
In the meantime, what kinds of digital wonders will we experience in 2001? Well, we asked online columnist David Corsi to devote his appearance this week to a little prognosticating.
Yes, we have lassoed him to come up with 5 predictions for the year 2001. Number 1, Mr.
I'm going to start with the easy one, recession. We're already beginning to see it, even before we have a new president. Some people thought that whoever new president would get it. But I think we're going to continue to see a slowdown in the stock market and in the industry.
But I've seen a lot of analysts who are saying that maybe the stock market's going to go up 10. Some of them are saying 25.
Yeah. You also saw analysts who said Amazon shares will sell for $400, and we're still waiting on that.
Boy, we'll be revisiting this in about 6 months, won't we? Okay, prediction number 2.
Number 2, Amazon will survive. There have been a lot of concerns about Amazon.com, but I think they're going to have to drop a lot of product lines and do the things they do profitably.
You mean go back to basics?
Basically, books and music.
I don't suppose you have a target price for them.
I don't have a target price for
We'll leave
Amazon.
that to the analysts and move on to prediction for the year 2001, prediction number 3.
Bad year for Microsoft. It's already, with the stock talk that they've had about their earnings going down being a problem. They've reset their earnings and what their expectations are. I think it's going to be worse than that. I think we're going to see very slow adoption of Windows 2000. I think you're going to see perhaps the Whistler operating system. What makes me think it may be late or could come out even more feature poor than it may come out now? I also think...
Wait, we can't talk about Microsoft without...
Office 10 will be a problem.
Office 10 will... Okay, what about the breakup?
Right.
I don't think Microsoft will be broken up.
Just flat out will not happen, even with George Bush's administration.
Well, I think George Bush being elected probably decreases the chances that Microsoft will be broken up.
Okay, prediction number 4.
Prediction number 4, Apple will cozy up with Oracle. Apple has this new enterprise operating system, OS X, coming out, and they don't have an awful lot to do with it.
Steve Jobs and Larry Ellison, they're already good friends anyway,
and
right?
Larry Ellison's already on the board, and there was talk a couple of years ago that Larry Ellison would buy Apple. I don't think he's going to have to buy Apple, but I do think Apple and Oracle will work together to make Apple a preferred platform, perhaps for things like Oracle's big databases.
Looks like Apple does need some help. All right, for 2001, prediction number 5.
Prediction number 5. Mike Armstrong will be out at AT&T. I just don't see him surviving through the year.
You know, but he's such a strong character, though. I mean, I know this is, a lot of companies have struggled. You don't think he's going to be strong enough to stay
I don't think he's going to make it. I think as concerned as they are about what Wall Street thinks, at some point Wall Street's going to turn on the man, and at that point, so will his board of directors.
All right, we've got time for a couple of bonus predictions. We're going to hold you to these.
A bonus prediction, number one, Napster aside, peer-to-peer is not going to be the big thing that everybody says it's going to be.
There's a lot of money going into it. It's the new darling among the venture capitalists.
There was a lot of money going into push at one time, too. I even did a conference about it, and you didn't see very much push. Peer-to-peer has existed for a long time. Peer-to-peer is genuinely useful. But it is not all by itself going to drive some massive new industry. It's going to be a feature, not a product.
All right, so if you look into your crystal ball, what do you like then?
Well, let's see. I like Bluetooth a little more. I've been researching it since a couple of weeks ago. I sort of dissed it. I think Bluetooth is a good technology. I think wireless is very slow to move forward, but I think 2001 will be a good year for wireless, and there'll be a good bit more of it at the end of the year than there is at the beginning.
Bluetooth rather than the 802, so-called 802.11?
I think there's room for both. Bluetooth is good in some applications. For something more like a local area network and less like device connectivity, I think Bluetooth works. In a local area network, I think 802.11b, the fast wireless Ethernet, is probably a good choice.
Right, this is great. We can ask him anything and he'll make a Here's a prediction. Moore's Law is a prediction of sorts. Will Moore's Law be broken in the next year?
Well, the story you talked about earlier with the new small, tiny Intel chips.
Oh, I should have probably explained what Moore's Law is.
Moore's Law says that the number of transistors on an integrated circuit will double every 18 to 24 months.
Okay.
The problem is, yeah, that will continue to happen, but I keep getting these faster and faster PCs, and I don't have anything that needs all that power. There is a big gap between bandwidth and processing power, and that isn't going to relent in 2001. Sure, there will be a lot more bandwidth out there and more people will have it at the end of the year, but the amount of bandwidth that you really need for a rich multimedia experience will not exist in most people's lives at the end of the year.
All right, I'm just going to throw this one out. AOL Time Warner.
AOL Time Warner will go through. I think that's pretty clear. I also suspect, though, that the FCC may get some additional concessions from them. That would be a good thing. In areas like instant messaging is one area that they're looking at. So it's going to go through, but I think we've set a pattern, at least for now, and that could change with the changes in Washington, that we'll have a more open broadband, cable-based or DSL-based internet rather than a more proprietary one.
You know, I would like to ask you whether you think Sydney will buy anything more than a book online in the coming year, but we don't have time.
We do have time for one more prediction. Claudia Schiffer will not be the next Bill Gates.
All right, if you think you can do better than that, you can share your predictions with David simply by going to david@corsi.com.
And that concludes this edition of CNETnews.com. Remember, though, you can always watch any part of today's show online with a high-speed connection. I'm Sydney Kohara.
And I'm Richard Hart. Online and on TV. We'll see you next weekend.
Bye-bye.
Cnetnews.com was brought to you by PeopleSoft. PeopleSoft. Customers, employees, suppliers. People power the Internet.
One company has the answers you're looking for. Beyond the box. And remember, our Client Pro desktop features the Intel Pentium 3 processor. MicronPC.com. Think beyond the box.
If the tangled web of wireless technology leaves your head spinning, relief is just a click away at Cnet Wireless. We'll help you make sense of the wireless world, navigate through the maze of wireless products, and get you smart before you buy. From cell phones to service plans to PDAs, Cnet Wireless educates you on the best products at the best prices. Get smart about wireless technology. Log on to wireless.cnet.com. Cnet.com, the source for computers and technology.
One company has the answers you're looking for, beyond the box. And remember, our Client Pro desktop features the Intel Pentium 3 processor. Micronpc.com. Think beyond the box.